Looking for recruiting news you can use? Welcome to Recruiting Headlines, powered by recruitingheadlines.com, a short news segment for recruiters who need to know. Today's episode is sponsored by RecTech Live, on-demand and live webinar learning for recruiters. Go to rectechlive.com to access past shows and see what's coming.
Hey, it's Chris Russell for the headlines from the week of ending October 12th. First up in the news, LinkedIn is in the news this week with a couple of big announcements. First, they signed a deal to acquire a company called Glint. Glint is an employee engagement platform that helps boost employee satisfaction and performance. Jim Barnett, the chief CEO and founder of Glint, said he's excited and optimistic about partnering with the folks from California. Together, he says, we'll be taking a major step toward achieving our vision to create a world where people love their jobs, Barnett wrote in the blog post. We couldn't be more thrilled with a partner we've decided to continue this journey with. The acquisition of Glint complements LinkedIn's strategy of acquiring tools necessary to help rapidly execute long-term strategies. Glint takes pride in people's success, while LinkedIn focuses on a wide-ranging workforce. Two companies make an effective combination whose goal is to help talent leaders develop and retain the best employees. All right, so no terms of the deal were disclosed. It's expected to close during the second fiscal quarter of 2019, according to an article on VentureBeat. So LinkedIn doesn't buy a whole lot of companies throughout the year, so we'll see what they're doing with this one. And congrats to the team at Glint for getting acquired. Next up, MyAlly, a candidate experience platform, has raised Series A funding. They put out a press release this week, which you can see on recruitingheadlines.com. It says, MyAlly, the leader in applying artificial intelligence to enhance the candidate experience, announced it's completed a Series A round of funding from Storm Ventures, which led the investment round, with participation from new and existing investors such as Elisis Capital, Firebolt Ventures, and Gokul Rajaram. The investment will help the company aggressively expand its sales and marketing efforts, as well as broaden and accelerate product development, according to the company's executives. So one of my sources told me there's no number announced in the press release, but I was told from a pretty reliable source it was about 6.3 million. And MyAlly is another one of those kind of chatbots that's out there, not to be confused with Allio, which is another chatbot out there. The name is a little bit odd to me. If there's another competitor out there with the word ally in it, it doesn't, to me, it doesn't make sense to have a similar name sounding to them. So I would change the name if I were MyAlly. I'm not sure which one came first, Allio or MyAlly, but the name definitely is going to cause confusion in the marketplace overall. So we'll see what happens with that. But congrats to that team. They're based out in San Jose, and their product has evolved over the years to help improve the candidate experience and recruiting productivity. So congrats to them. And it's myally.ai is their URL if you want to check them out. So Google's in the news. Google Plus is shutting down. The social network, once touted to be a really great tool for sourcing, and it was initially, is closing after a massive data breach. Google announced that it's shutting down the social network. A bug in Google Plus apparently exposed the personal data of nearly 500,000 users, and Google chose not to disclose it out of fears of regulatory pressure. So in an article on SourceCon, Shannon Pritchett writes, Google Plus was once rumored to be the next big social media site for sourcers after launching in 2011. According to their most recent survey on SourceCon, only 10% of sourcers actually use Google Plus to find candidates. And out of that, only 10% receive more than 10 hires a year from the declining website. So it'll be shutting down in the coming months. No one I know is ever using Google Plus, except in the beginning. You can do an X-ray on there now, kind of an X-ray search like site:+.google.com, and then put your terms in there to find some candidates. So there's probably still some people out there you can find on it, but again, it's really not useful, and no one's really using it overall. I think the stat I read was that 90% of people who come to Google Plus leave within the first 5 seconds. So again, not a very highly used site, and it should have been shut down a long time ago, in my opinion, because it just never really got any traction with with social media users and stuff. So goodbye or RIP to Google Plus. Hirevue is in the news. They launched a pre-built assessment tool. So Hirevue is a video interviewing solution, and they built something called Hirevue pre-built assessments tailored to specific job roles and competencies. Each of these includes a combination of video questions, game-based challenges for technical roles, coding challenges. For candidates, the experience is faster and more engaging than with traditional or other game-based pre-hire assessment approaches. When used at the beginning of the hiring process, on-demand interviews and AI-driven assessments enable talent acquisition teams to quickly identify and focus on the best candidates, replacing legacy screening methods. Built on Hirevue's experience with more than 8 million on-demand interviews, the assessments are scientifically validated and ready for implementation without lengthy job analyses, validation studies, or extensive data gathering efforts required with typical assessments. So they built these things for a couple different job roles. Specifically, the first of these include 3 cognitive skills tests and 4 job-specific assessments for call center rep, sales rep, retail associate, and software developer. Hirevue expects to continue to be adding to its library of pre-built assessments over the next year, so look out for more types of job roles they're going to sync with. Game-based assessment technology is the latest addition to Hirevue's AI-driven assessment suite. Boy, they love those AI words. Following the company's acquisition of game-based assessments leader Mindex earlier this year, and they help employers evaluate cognitive traits, including things like problem solving, mental flexibility, learning agility, creativity. So check out the press release on Recruiting Headlines. And finally, the big news of the week: LinkedIn has launched an ATS. It's called TownHub. They announced it at LinkedIn Talent Connect this week. And, everyone was waiting for LinkedIn to jump into the ATS game, and it's finally here. Here's a quick synopsis of what it does. It starts with a brief intake featuring only the job title, desired location, and skill level. After you input these fields, you will immediately see insights in a candidate funnel as to how many candidates on LinkedIn are available who match your project. So it's kind of like LinkedIn is kind of built into the product, I guess. You can add further project details such as the job description, desired headcount, assigned cost center, ideal hire date, and you can add or appoint team members and recruiters. TownHub, it says, is an extremely customizable product which allows you to tweak your sourcing strategy throughout the project phase with the ability to look at skills, years of experience in a particular degree. As soon as the position is live, you are instantly taken to view search results of candidates. It's kind of instant matching there toward people who might match that job description. And this is kind of where a lot of, job boards and ATSs are heading in terms of this matching stuff, right? As soon as you post a job or give it some details around the job, they give you matching candidates to fit that. So congrats to LinkedIn. Everyone was waiting for the ATS to come out, and it's finally here. They say they're going to be marketing it towards small business SMBs, and the cost of it will be less than the cost of a recruiter license, I heard. So we'll have to find out what that is eventually. And I can just hear all the other ATS vendors out there groaning and just saying to themselves, great, now LinkedIn has an ATS. Yet another competitor we have to deal with in the market, in a crowded market. The space is just becoming much more competitive, and even now so with the addition of LinkedIn. So those are the big news stories of the week. Check out recruitingheadlines.com. Make sure you sign up for the daily newsletter. It comes out at 1 o'clock every day with all the day's headlines. For recruitingheadlines.com, I'm Chris Russell. Thanks for listening.
That's it for now. Be sure to sign up for our daily newsletter that delivers all the day's top stories every afternoon direct to your inbox. Subscribe at recruitingheadlines.com.